What's going on, everybody? This is actually my first video that we are shooting for the Aquatic Imitations YouTube video channel, and it's gonna be a journey that I really believe God has put me on. And I know that that may sound forthcoming to some and off-putting to some, but the truth of the matter is we bought the shop in April of 2024, and we gave the shop to God day one. And most people didn't understand what that meant when I gave God the shop day one. And I said that was kind of like when I gave God my life whenever I was 6, and I acknowledged that He was holding the breath in my lungs. And when you acknowledge somebody, or you acknowledge God, and you acknowledge what He is doing and what He has done and what He wants to do, then you have an opportunity to tap into resources of love that you absolutely need to survive in this world, more than anything that you could ever imagine, more than money, more than riches, more than fame, more than anything. And that's the first resource that you will be able to tap into. And I tapped into that. And from there, God has given us resources. And I acknowledged Him day one that He was the owner of our shop. And that has been the journey that has led us to be a wholesale distributor to the United States as Celtic Blob US. The journey started with a relationship through Brad Zeiters, who is the owner, operator, and guide at Creekside Guide Services on Spruce Creek. And he is an amazing friend who introduced me to a gentleman that is the owner of Celtic Blob Company. And that was the best thing that could have happened for our shop, because the wholesale journey started with a product that was missing in action for potentially a decade, and it was a material that was a trendsetter, and it was also the standard for the egg pattern material for steelhead and all other material used for egg patterns that was wrapped at the time. And when we brought it back to the United States and we had the reconnection to the resources of fly tie material, we were just so blessed by God to be able to bring this into the U.S. and then be able to bless everybody that is connected to us. And now we are providing a product second to none, the material that we have. And I say that kind of boldly and proudly, without hesitation, but humbly too. And I know that there is always room to grow and improve, and nothing's perfect, but sometimes you do get some things just right. And we did that, and tonight we're going to be using a few of those materials that are just right. And we're going to tie up a fly that is really now a need in your fly box. If you're going to be heading into our area, the Little Juniata, Frankstown Juniata area, we have the October Caddis. And the October Caddis is a beautiful, larger caddis and a ginger orange. So we are going to start this fly out with a clinkhammer emerger hook. That is one of my favorite hooks. That is a typical hook that is used for the parachute, but we are using it as the style of hook that I like, and we're also going to be using a fly that was tied and designed by Whiting called the Taboo Caddis, and it is a kind of an offshoot of that fly, and utilizing our CDC material. Our CDC material is kind of unique in the fact that whenever material that is dyed from CDC, it loses its oils and becomes kind of just now another feather that looks pretty. And we retreat the feathers, so there is now a buoyancy aspect to the feather again, while it is matching the color needed for your fly. The other materials that we're going to be running with is the synthetic hurls. Two that we're going to be using is the caramel and also the black peacock, which is one of my favorites. I've used it for the granum bodies. This is a universal material that can be used for dry flies, emergers, nymphs, collars for perdigons. I've used it for ribbing, which we are going to be using that today for. So there's a lot of potential for this. Jeff Blood is going to be running a video that he really enjoys, our microsynthetic hurl, and has a really quick, easy pattern that says is the most effective for him. And he is the king of steelheads, so I will definitely take his word as truth. So let's get some thread up on here, running on a black thread. I'm actually using GSP just for the simple fact that I don't want the thread to break during the video, and that's just being truthful with you. And you can use a thread that is less tension resistant, and I tend to be a little heavy-handed, but that's the need for us to adjust in the fly tying world, because the flies get smaller, and our need for ability to adjust to the tension of our thread as it gets smaller is a must, or you will have a lot of breaks, or you have some ugly flies. And they say ugly flies catch fish, but sometimes the size is a very important aspect. So the CDC feathers that I showed you in ginger, I've grabbed 3 of them and just lined up the ends of trying to pick some larger, lengthier feathers, just because I want to be able to wrap them without any issues. And this is where the taboo caddis tail comes in play, and people may say, oh, this isn't normal to have a tail on a caddis. And this is kind of just in an aspect of, this is the emerging shuckish stuff that's coming off of the caddis emerger fly. There's a lot of things that happen in the emerger stage that we don't see, and we're going to make sure that we make it look a little bit buggy. So you can just get that CDC attached in there with a nice, just a little tail. Give it a little bit of a buoyancy, because it's going to be emerging, but it's also going to be a dry fly as well if need be. And it's going to ride a little bit different in the manner of because of the hook, but also the material and its floating buoyancy is going to create the offset a little bit. Without a tail, there would be a lower seating of the hook, like a clink hammer would be, but because of the tail, there is going to be a little bit of a push that's going to create just a perfect kind of a struggling emerger. And fish don't go for the dry fly all the time, and the reason why is that it's not a guaranteed meal. We've probably heard that before, and the emerger is more on its way, not a guarantee out of the water yet. So the fish have more opportunity to grab on and get a quick meal real quick. And so if you want to just hold on to them quick, those little quills at the end of there, and we're going to tie them off. And what you want to do is keep them pointed up when you tie them off, and the manner in which you do that is by allowing for a tie off like you would any other material behind, but then building up a little dam front, and then you can use those quills inside to press that material back. And you will also then use the pearl to use as a pressure point on the front of that. Now this looks pretty messy. CDC is a messy material. I've got material underneath. I've got material up on top. Yes, I do. I've got material everywhere. Now this material that I have in my hand, the hurl, I am giving it a little bit of a stretch, and that's okay. It has the ability to be stretched, and the reason why I want to stretch is because I want to get it around that tail so that I can start ribbing up around it, and also creating that nice segmented body look, and capturing some of them little fibers. It's not going to be a problem. They've got legs, you know. And so when we're going to come up to the body, we're just going to wrap right around there. Work our thread back, and we'll tie off. And that material is a easy material to work with, durable, not gonna come out whenever it's chewed up by the fish, has that right look. Just love it. The next thing we're gonna use that thorax and really get to the head of this fly, and we're gonna take some of that black. I'm dropping things. Always got to make some noise in your first video because you're right at the end, you know. But we're going to tie this up, and I'm not going to lose a really beautiful fly over some noise, because distractions are part of life, and that's what happens. And you know, the devil has been trying to distract me all day trying to make this video. And we're gonna run it, because that's the way we do things around here. So we're just gonna run that up a little bit. Make sure that you don't overdo your eye. And you're gonna tie off just like so. And we will then give a little snip. Now, because of the angle of this fly, you may just want to keep your thread back at an angle while you put it on a whip finish. And there she is. The October Caddis. CDC October Caddis will decimate this September into October. So remember, don't hide Jesus like you hide your fishing spots. Have a great day, guys. Catch you later.